The distress beacon cut through the static like a knife through silk. Jackson's weathered fingers danced across the console of his salvage vessel, the lone wanderer as he locked onto the signal. 20 years of working the Outer Rim had taught him that most distress calls were traps. Pirates, scavengers, worse. But something about this one felt different. The frequency was Vulpinian, a species known more for their diplomatic grace than their spacefaring prowess. Probably some rich merchant's daughter who took Daddy's yacht for a joyride, Jackson muttered, adjusting course anyway. Humans didn't leave people to die in the black. It wasn't in their nature, no matter how many times it got them killed. The ship came into view an hour later, listing badly and venting atmosphere from at least 3 hull breaches. It was a beautiful craft, all flowing lines and bioluminescent panels, typical Vulpinian design. Jackson had seen maybe 2 of their ships in his entire career. They rarely left their home systems, preferring to let other species come to them. He brought the Wanderer alongside and extended the docking tube, half expecting it to be empty when he cycled through. Instead, he found her. She was small, even for a Vulpinian, with russet fur that caught the emergency lighting like burnished copper. 2 triangular ears sat atop her head, one torn and bleeding. Her tail, usually a point of pride for her species, was singed at the tip. But her eyes, those amber eyes, held a fire that made Jackson reassess every assumption he'd made. "You are human?" she asked in accented standard, her voice hoarse from smoke inhalation. Jackson Reeves, salvager. "You hurt?" "Anna, my name is Anna." She coughed, steadying herself against the bulkhead. "I am alive, thanks to you." Jackson swept the rest of the ship quickly. She was alone. The vessel's core was already in meltdown, giving them maybe 10 minutes before the whole thing turned into a miniature sun. He grabbed Anna's arm, gently because Vulpinians bruised easily, and pulled her toward the docking tube. "We need to go, now." She didn't argue. Smart girl. They made it back to the Wanderer with 3 minutes to spare. Jackson sealed the airlock and fired thrusters, putting distance between them and the dying ship. Anna stood at the viewport watching her vessel collapse into itself, amber eyes reflecting the white-hot implosion. "Pirates?" Jackson asked. "Worse, traitors." Her voice was cold, controlled. "My own crew. They said humans were weak, that your species' reputation was built on luck and numbers, not strength." I disagreed. They did not appreciate my perspective. Jackson had heard it before. Humanity had clawed its way into the galactic community less than 2 centuries ago. They had no natural armor, no telepathy, no biological weapons. What they had was stubbornness, adaptability, and a disturbing refusal to accept the word impossible. "Your crew tried to kill you over a philosophical debate?" Anna's ears flattened against her skull. "There are factions within my government who wish to ally with the Kreth Empire. I oppose them, vocally. I was being transported to a diplomatic conference when my escorts revealed their true allegiance. The Kreth." Jackson's jaw tightened. They were the galaxy's current nightmare, a hive-minded species that assimilated others through biological integration. Humanity had fought them to a standstill at the Battle of Proxima, but it had cost millions of lives. So they spaced you instead. They underestimated human salvagers' response times. Anna turned from the viewport, and for the first time she smiled. It transformed her face, made her look younger. "My life debt is yours, Jackson Reeves. Don't mention it. I'll drop you at the nearest—" "No." The word was firm, final. "Among my people, a life debt is sacred. Where you go, I go, until the debt is repaid." Jackson opened his mouth to argue, then closed it. He'd dealt with enough alien cultures to know when pushing back would be pointless. Besides, the Wanderer could use another set of hands, even delicate Vulpinian ones. "Can you pilot?" "I can learn. Can you shoot?" "Define shoot," Jackson sighed. This was going to be interesting. 3 weeks later, interesting had become an understatement. Anna proved to be a quick study, absorbing lessons on human ship systems with an intensity that bordered on obsessive. She learned to pilot, to navigate, to operate the railgun turrets. She learned to eat human food without complaint, even the reconstituted protein bars that tasted like cardboard. But more than that, she learned to understand humans. "You should have left me," she said one night over dinner. "By every logical calculation, saving me put you at risk. The Kreth have spies everywhere. My crew likely reported my rescue. You have made yourself a target." Jackson shrugged, spooning another mouthful of instant noodles. Maybe. But humans don't do things because they're logical. We do them because they're right. That is insane. Yeah, we get that a lot. Anna's tail swished. He'd learned it meant she was thinking hard. During the Battle of Proxima, your species lost 3 fleets defending colonies that weren't even yours. The galactic community called it foolish, wasteful. We call it Tuesday. She laughed then, a sound like wind chimes. The Council fears you. Did you know that? They fear that humanity's irrationality is contagious, that other species might start believing impossible things too. Good, Jackson said. The galaxy could use a little more impossible. The attack came at the edge of the Terminus sector. 3 Kreth corvettes dropped out of FTL with weapons hot. Jackson was at the helm in seconds, Anna at the guns. They found us, she breathed. They found you, Jackson corrected, throwing the Wanderer into an evasive spiral. Buckle up, Fox girl. Time to see what this rust bucket can really do. What followed was the kind of battle that spacers told stories about in station bars. The Wanderer was outgunned, outmanned, outclassed. By every rational measure, they should have died in the first salvo. But Jackson had 20 years of experience making the impossible look routine. And Anna, sweet diplomatic Anna, turned out to have a natural talent for gunnery that bordered on supernatural. They danced between asteroids, used the local star's corona as cover, played games of chicken with ships 3 times their size. Anna's railgun fire was surgical, precise, targeting weak points Jackson called out in a constant stream. When one corvette moved to flank them, Jackson put the Wanderer into a spin that would have killed anyone without inertial dampeners, bringing Anna's guns to bear on fresh targets. The battle lasted 17 minutes. When the last Kreth ship limped away, trailing plasma, Jackson and Anna sat in stunned silence. We shouldn't have survived that, Anna finally said. Probably not. That was the most reckless, illogical, insane flying I have ever witnessed. Jackson grinned. Thanks. Anna unbuckled, crossed the small bridge, and pressed her forehead to his, a Vulpinian gesture of deep respect. My people were wrong about humans. You are not lucky. You do not win through numbers. You win because you refuse to lose. That's about the size of it. Then I refuse to leave your side, Jackson Reeves. Not because of a debt, but because... She paused, searching for words. Because the galaxy is changing, and I want to be part of that change. With you. Jackson looked at the small fox girl with the torn ear and the singed tail, who had learned to fight like a human, to hope like a human, to believe in impossible things. Welcome aboard, Anna, permanently. Her tail wagged, pure, unrestrained joy. And somewhere in the darkness between stars, humanity's legend grew a little bit larger.